right, I think I'm live. I'm going to give it about one more minute until we hit the 3:30 mark. I'll pull up my notes and put this here. All right. We're good. Okay, I can see the comments too. I just wanted to make sure we are all good. All right, welcome back to my Thursday chats with Malika. I'm Malika Daniels. I'm a financial coach and the founder of Women Who Money Plan. I help women navigate the relationship with money and help them to develop plans to create the financial life that they strive to have. And I do these chats each week to talk about a brief financial topic. The chats are really quick. They're usually 10 to 15 minutes, so I'm not going to take all day, I promise. Today's topic is about navigating sales season. This time of the year, a lot of different companies are marketing you with the different sales that they have going on, and I want to talk about how we go about dealing with all of these. Okay, so let's think about this. Have you ever been going about your day, not even planning on buying anything, had no plan to spend money that day, and then you get a text message or an email or come across an ad that something is on sale, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, maybe I should be purchasing something. Maybe I do need something. It's kind of telling you like maybe I should spend my money. But let's think about that. Let's say you have $20 with no plans on spending that money that day. You see an ad that something's on sale, so you decide to buy it. Now you no longer have that $20. So did you actually save money or did you spend money? And the reality is you spent the money. So a sale is really just a tactic to get people to spend money. I know everyone gets really excited when they hear the word sale because in their mind it first goes to, oh, I'm going to save something. I'm saving money. You know, we all want to save. That's the goal, right? Is to save and not overspend. But the reality is when you weren't even planning on buying something and you make the purchase just because, oh, it's on sale, why not? Then you're really just spending money and you're helping out the company, but yourself as the consumer, you're messing up probably your financial goals and your plans of being more intentional with your money. So we're going to talk about a few tips that you can use to avoid this from happening, these impulses from happening. So one thing that you can do is reduce the messaging. Okay, this is probably the easiest thing. Reduce the messaging. So unsubscribe from the text messages that come to your phone that tell you, 10% off this week only. Unsubscribe from the emails that come to you that you get probably from every company that you've ever shopped at, sending you emails every time they have a sale going on. So text messages, emails, if you get mailings, if you still get like the physical mail about different sales from companies, you can unsubscribe from that as well. You can remove any kind of alerts that you might have if you have an app for a company on your phone and it's set up where they can notify you with different sales that they have going on. You can remove those notifications. You can still have the app if you feel like you really need that app for that company because you shop there a lot or something, but remove the notifications that's telling you all the time there's a sale. More than likely, most of these companies have sales all the time. So it's a matter of if you actually need something, there's probably going to be a sale coming up at some point anyway. It's not that you have to jump on that sale right then and there or you're going to miss out. A lot of times we think, if I don't do it right now, I'm going to miss out. And that's usually the case. That's just the way the company wants you to feel so that you are pushed to spend your money. So that's the first step. First tip is to reduce your messaging as much as you possibly can. Even on social media, you can hide ads. When you see these ads coming across your page all the time, you can hit those little dots, hide the ads, ask them not to show you ads like this and stuff like that anymore to try to reduce some of that messaging. Another thing that you can do is plan ahead. So people have savings accounts for various reasons. You might have an emergency fund or a travel fund and things like that. There is something called a sinking fund, and this is a savings fund that can be used for whatever it is that you designate you want it to be used for. Some people might use their sinking fund for those type of impulse war spending. So that way you have money that you put aside throughout the year into this account, and money is set there that you can use for whatever it is you feel like using it for. And you don't have to feel guilty about it. You don't have to feel bad that, oh, I overspent and I really didn't have that money, because the reality is you've been putting money aside for a while into the sinking fund, and your point of the sinking fund is to use it for occasions just like this. With that, I will say you should also create a plan on how much you are going to allow for these impulse buys. So if you're saying, well, I had the sinking fund set aside for, if a sale pops up and I decide I want to buy something, make sure ahead of time you've thought about what's your max amount when it comes to this. Maybe it's $50. So if something comes up and it's under $50 and you still haven't spent any of that money for that month or that time frame, then you can do it. So sinking fund, reduce the messaging. Another thing is obviously setting that spending limit of what your impulse spending might be if you are tempted by a sale. Another great tip, this is kind of what I tend to do, is create a list. I create a need/want list in my phone. And when something pops up in my mind that I think I need or want, I put it in my list. And then later, if I see something that's on sale, I'll check, like, is that something I was planning to buy anyway? And if it was something that, it's been on your list for a while, you've been thinking about buying this for a while anyway, and now it's on sale, you can get it for a better deal, that might be the right time to go ahead and make that purchase. But if it's something that you've never even really thought about buying and you're only tempted now because you're seeing it's on sale, then that really doesn't warrant spending that money. Okay, so creating that list, that needs want list, updating it as you go about life, and taking things off if you realize you don't need it anymore, or adding things on that you want, can be really helpful to help you figure out, should I purchase this? It's on sale, but is it something that I really actually even needed or wanted? And if it's not, maybe it's a pass. Another thing you can do is set a pause before making purchases. A lot of times these sale purchases are impulse buys because you see the message of 24-hour sale or buy now, get one free, or whatever it might be. And so you just kind of are excited about that, and you just want to act and do it right then and there. But my suggestion to you is to pause for 24 to 48 hours and think about it and see, like, is this something that I really want to spend money on? And how will I feel after I spend this money? Is it going to be really worth it to me? In the moment, the excitement of like, oh, I'm saving money, let me go ahead and buy this, you might feel like you want it, but 24, 48 hours later, you might realize, you know what, I really don't even need that. Like, it's not something that I want to spend money on. So that's fine. So a pause is another tip to getting through seeing all those different quote unquote great sales where they're trying to make you think that you're saving money. Another thing that you should do is research the discounted price. So when you see these things pop up that something's on sale and it's 10% less, 20% less, don't just take that company's word for it. Look up that item. It might be on Amazon for less money, and it might be that's the typical price on Amazon. It might be on Facebook Marketplace for less money or something like that. So look up that discounted price and see, is it truly even a sale? Can you get it somewhere else for that same price at any time? Can you get it somewhere else for less? So don't just take that company's word for it when they say the word sale. They're throwing that out there just to get your attention, but it doesn't truly mean that you're going to be getting the best price for that product. So don't get duped into being so excited about it that you just jump on it and then later realize, like, oh, like that wasn't even really a discounted price for that item. So that's just definitely another tip you want to try to use, of researching the price that they're saying is actually discounted to see if it really is. Another tip that you can do is check in with your bank account. When it's a purchase that you weren't planning on making, it's popping up, do a quick check on your account. Like, where are your funds at right now? Do you have all the money that you need for your bills set aside? Do you have all the money that you need for your groceries that are coming up? Do you have everything that is supposed to be being paid set to go into the right spots? Do you have the money that you're putting away for your savings goals put away? All those kind of things. And then you can determine, is there extra that I can allow for this purchase? You don't want to make that purchase and then later sit back and regret, like, oh, I really shouldn't have spent that because I actually needed that money for what I'm doing next week when I'm going to this show or whatever it is, right? So do a check-in with your bank account before you just click add to cart. So that's another tip. Do a bank account check-in. Another one is just a check-in with yourself. I think this one's important because a lot of times we get caught up in the excitement of, oh, I'm saving money, which now you realize it's not really saving, you are spending. Anytime you're buying something, you are spending money. But do that check-in with yourself and think, will I later regret this purchase? Is this something I'm going to be super excited about that I bought, and like for weeks and months to come, I'm going to be like, no regrets. I am so happy I spent money on this item. Or are you going to look back a couple weeks from now and be like, what was I thinking? Like, I didn't really need this. I have something else that's similar, or I used it one time and I'm never going to use it again, probably. So check in with yourself. Be real with how much you think you're actually going to use the item. Do you really think you're going to appreciate that item down the line? Not just in the moment, right? That day it might be exciting, but are you going to really feel that same way 6 months from now about that item? And you also just don't want to go through life feeling bad about purchases that you've made. So just think about, is this something that I'm going to feel excited about that I purchased that I made, or is this something that I might feel bad about later? Because we don't want to be making purchases and then feeling bad about them. So if it's something that you think you're going to feel bad about, maybe don't do it, right? Or just do the pause where you wait 24 to 40 hours to determine your true feelings about that purchase. So I haven't even been counting how many tips these are, because I think I've said a lot so far. But another tip is to consult a friend or a money coach if you have someone that you work with your finances, and talk the purchase through. I think this one is really important, because sometimes when you say it out loud and you're like, oh, I'm going to spend X amount of money on this product, sometimes just saying it out loud can kind of talk to yourself and say, now that I'm saying it out loud, I don't feel like that's such a great idea anymore. So just talking to somebody about it can sometimes give you a different view, a different perspective, instead of just being in your head about it. So try to talk to people about larger purchases that you might be thinking about. That's especially something that maybe you're thinking it's on sale, but it's costing a lot more than you would typically want to spend on something that you hadn't already planned to buy. So I think that's a good one. Just definitely talk it out with somebody and get their opinion, and just kind of hear how it sounds when it comes out of your mouth. It doesn't really sound that great. And then I think that was all the tips that I had. I had a whole bunch sitting here. But I would love if anyone else has any other tips on things that they do to avoid getting drawn into these sales. Another thing is stay out the stores. That's just another tip. Don't try to avoid the stores unless you really have to go in for a specific item. When you're just walking into the stores just to wander and window shop and looking around at things, you're probably going to be more drawn into seeing, oh, this one's discounted, this is on sale, that kind of thing. But avoid the stores if you can, unless you really need to get something, and then get the item you need to get and keep it moving. Get out the store once you're done with that, done with getting the item that you need. All right, so that is my topic for this week, talking about sales and how to avoid that temptation. Again, I have these talks each week on my Facebook page, but if you would like to have more discussions, more conversations, have a safe place to talk about finances, you can always join my Facebook group, Women Who Money Plan. It's a private group for women to discuss all things money. And then if you want to discuss anything more with your finances on a more personal level about what you have going on, you can always schedule a 30-minute free consultation with me, and we can talk more about your financial goals and kind of what you want to do with your money. I'll put a link in the comments for the scheduling the free consultation, and I'll also put a link in the comments for joining the Facebook group. That's it for today. I'll be back again next week, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your week and a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk soon. Thank you for tuning in.